Welcome to the Copilot Cafe. This session is all about using Copilot in PowerPoint. I'm going to take you through how you can make amazing PowerPoints from your Word documents or from your PDFs, how you can edit those, how you can bring in images and much more. So let's get started. So I'm going to go into office.com and I'm going to select PowerPoint. Now, when I go into PowerPoint, I can select a theme, or I could select a template if I already have a corporate branded template that I use all the time. I could select that. And that means that when I use PowerPoint and Copilot and I create new slides, it's going to continue using that corporate branding. For this demo, I'm going to use this boardroom theme, and I've already opened it up here in the desktop view. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is just quickly create a presentation from my marketing strategy document that I created previously. I've got the Word version of the marketing strategy, and I want a lovely presentation to go with it. So I'm going to go into Home and I'm going to click on Copilot, and I'm going to say, create a presentation from file. Now you see up here, I've already got some options. I can create a presentation from file. I can create a presentation about, and I just come up with a subject, and Copilot's going to help me there. I can ask Copilot to help me understand a bit more about the information that is in these slides. And then I can also go and have a look at my chat history. So maybe I've used a great prompt before and I want to go and use that again. Down the bottom here, I've got a few options. So I can view prompts. If I click on create, it's going to give me some things I might want to look at. If I click edit, it might ask me, maybe you want to think about adding this slide. So there's loads of different options here. Ask. I'm going to have a look at some of these. I could also click on view more prompts. It's going to take me to the Copilot lab. If I've got any plugins, if I click on the plugin option here, they'll be listed here. So in this case, I've got web content. If I click that on, it's going to be able to go and get information for the web for me. And then I've got my speakerphone. Speaking to Copilot is a lot easier than typing because of the way it's more conversational. So it's definitely worth having a look at how you use the microphone. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to create a presentation from file. And automatically it's come up with a list of different documents that I've recently gone into. And I'm just going to pick one of these. So there's my marketing strategy document, and I'm going to ask it to include lots of images of cafes and coffee mugs. Now let's see what it's going to come up with. So it's going to go off to all the data it's got access to. So it'll look at that document. It will read everything that's in that document and think about the best way to present it. It will also go off to the web or the stock images and have a look at what images it could bring through that are going to be relevant. Now, in a second, it's going to tell me how many slides it's created, that, it's created some with images and it's organized it for me. Now, I could have put more into that prompt. I could have said, include 10 slides, make sure these topics are covered. I could have added more detail to that prompt, but I want to see what it's going to come up with. So you can see here, it's starting to outline what it's going to generate for my presentation. It's going to take the headings from that Word document, and it's going to make sure that they're covered. So headings in the document that you're bringing in is really important. And this works with both Word and PDFs currently. So if you've got a PDF document that you want to turn into a PowerPoint presentation, you can do that too. So I'm going to look things over now. It's going to start creating me some speaker notes there as well. And here you can see it said it's created 40 slides. It's included the speaker notes. It's added images to make it more engaging. And if I go through and I look at the notes, you can see here it's showing me where the original content is, but it's also giving me some speaker notes here. So the next thing I would do is I'd go into Designer and I'd have a look at what Designer is suggesting for images. So let's change that one up. Go to Agenda. How do we make these look a little bit prettier? See what options it's giving us. And see which ones I'm happy with. So yeah, you can go through and have a look at some of these images that it's added. You can see here that it's added a coffee shop background to this image. It's added some relevant conversation images there to the digital marketing slide. But I can go through and have a look. Rocket for the launch, all of that great stuff. Okay, so what else could I do here? I could maybe add a bit of automation to my slides. So let me find one. Maybe, let's see if I can go back and change one of these. Maybe I want this one to have a bit of automation. So I'm going to go into Copilot and I'm going to say add automation to this slide. And it's going to look that over and decide what automation would be relevant. So it's just done some simple automation there to that slide. Now, as I scroll down, something that's going to be really important is this budget information. So I want to make sure that this slide is really clear. So I might just make some changes to this. And maybe I just need a little heading on this. I could say to Copilot, add a slide to introduce budget allocations, because there's no slide that kind of introduces this financial data. So I can ask Copilot to add a slide and it's going to take into account the theme that we've been using here. So it's added a new slide there, and I'm just going to use Designer to bring that back into line with the rest of the deck. Okay, another thing I could do with Copilot is maybe I need to add a next step slide. And maybe English isn't my first language. So if I was a French speaker and I wanted to ask Copilot to add a next step slide, I could ask it in French. And I'm just going to put in the words there in French, which says add a final slide to that details the next steps in English. Now, because I've asked Copilot in French to do something, it would create the slide in French. So if I want that slide to be written in English, I absolutely need to make sure I tell it that it's to be written in English. You see here, it's actually responded back to me in both English and French as well. Now, a couple of things I might want to just finish this off with is I could ask it to organize this presentation better. So if I go into prompts and I go to edit, you'll see there's organize this presentation. So I can click on that. What this is going to do now is it's going to look at how I've got this. It's going to add maybe some dividing slides. It's going to add some sections, and it's just going to move things about so that they make a little bit more sense. So it's having to think about it at the minute. And you can see here now, it says, okay, here's some suggestions. I've grouped these slides. I've added these slides, so these dividing slides. And you can see here now, I've actually got sections in there. Oh, now, something else I might want to add are images. So if I look at the different ways I could add an image, I could ask Copilot to create an image for me. So let me add in create, and this is going to generate me a new image in AI. So I'm going to say create an image of a coffee shop. Let's get the spelling right, start off with, that has a Copilot theme. So let's see what it comes up with. It's going to go, because this is an image it's creating, it's using DALL-E 3 to create that image. And it's going to give me 4 different options to choose from. Now I can put all 4 into the slide if I want to, or I can just select one. You also have the option to flag any inappropriate images that come up. You see that's the inappropriate flag. So I want to insert that. That is beautiful. I absolutely love that. So I'm very happy with that one. So that's added that in. So that brought it up by creating a new image. Now I could ask it maybe to add an image. So add an image of a coffee cup. And it might now go out to the stock images and just find a coffee cup image that we can add. All right, so it's come up with some options for coffee cup. I quite like that one. So I'm going to press insert, and straight away it's popped that into the slide and change the image up there. So it looks great. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Copilot maybe to give me some recommendations on how I could improve this deck. I don't want to just hand this over to the execs. So what could I do to improve it? So this is where it comes into doing a bit of brainstorming, getting some ideas from a different point of view on what could be better in this deck. All right, so it's given me some answers here. Here's some examples from a presentation and how you can improve it. So I could add more market research. I could define the USP better, utilize more marketing channels, organize a launch event with promos. So lots of great information there that I could add. So if I was coming and I was looking at this presentation and it's got 40 slides, I probably don't want to look through all 40 if I'm in a rush as well. So I can ask it to help me, just summarize this presentation for me. So as an exec, I might just want to have a quick pre-read of what is included in this. And this is what this summary is going to give me. So summary main ideas of what's included in the presentation. If you haven't seen the session that I did on Word before, where I made up that marketing strategy, do go and have a look. And that's it for now. Until next time.
Welcome to the Copilot Cafe. Join Joe for a 10-minute stay. Learn new tips every day with demos that light the way.